Everyone, for the most part, loves him. He's not Chris, so everyone doesn't hate him. What is our infatuation and where does our love for Spider-Man come from? For me, personally, it started years and years ago. We're going to say around 1981 when I started really buying comic books. And I liked his stories in Amazing Spider-Man, but I loved him in Secret Wars. So when that came out and they officially introduced the black symbiote suit, right? I remember reading that when it got to issue 8 and was like, this is crazy. And my love for him started right there. I drew pictures of him on big pieces of like poster paper and I would cut them out after I colored it and penned it and use them like my own little Spider-Man action figure. People say it's the ghetto version of an action figure, but it's what I could afford and it's what I created. So I could pose him however I wanted. I just had to draw him again. So I got really good at it. I love that. Then I would watch the cartoons, like the Spider-Man cartoons, the Spider-Man and Friends. And it was so cool to me growing up. This character was 100% relatable to me. And he was street level, you know what I'm saying? So let's look at some history, why don't we? So, all the way back in 1962, Amazing Fantasy 15 came out. And that was the initial introduction to Spider Man. And the cover has multiple homage covers for the past, what, 70 plus years? Even from Amazing Spider Man himself giving an homage. So it started right back then, and the story goes, Stan Lee created him because he was like, let me just think of, let's make him a teenager, and he went down this whole rabbit hole of how he came up with in his head how he was going to be. But for the majority of the other generations that aren't like boomers or Gen X's, where did it love come from? Let's look at the movies, why don't we? So Sam Raimi helmed all three of the initial Spider-Man films. The first one was in 2002, second one was 2004, and his final incarnation of Spider-Man was 2007. So on the screen, I'm going to show you the posters for those. Personally, I really liked all of them. You had William Dafoe as the Green Goblin. You had Franco as the Hobgoblin. You have you have Doctor Octopus in there. I mean, it's just so great. And you had Mary Jane. Oh my God, Kirsten Dunst looked so sexy in the rain and the scene where the upside down kiss happens. Boy, I tell you. But my favorite poster was Spider-Man 3 of that little realm. Now, Sam Raimi was known from Evil Dead. He was known from a little B-rate horror. And so for him to take this on, he added a sense of humor and he added something different that I really liked about it. And we had Tobey Maguire in there. He was known, but this put him over. And then what happened? Well, he disappeared. See, it wasn't until Mark Webb directed the next two movies for Spider Man, which had Andrew Garfield taking over the helm of Peter Parker. Again, we were introduced to similar villains, right? We had Green Goblin, kind of, sort of. We had Electro, and we had uh, the Lizard. That was really cool. I like how they introduced him in the first one, and they made him BA. I do like that. And when he came back later on, that was even better. But Andrew Garfield, I think, really did a good service to the Spider-Man lexicon that we all grew and loved. But in the back of our minds, was he still Tobey Maguire? He was different, right? But this time, you didn't really have Mary Jane. You had Gwen Stacy, and she fell to her death. That was something none of us expected to happen in this movie, in the second one, which was kind of crazy because where do you go from there? I guess that's why we never got the third one, because the script never came up. But what happened next was pretty great. Enter the creation of the MCU with Iron Man, Jon Favreau. And then here we go. Sony and Marvel strike a deal. Hey, Marvel, I'm Sony. I own the rights to Spider-Man and all the intellectual property that goes along with it. So I want to do a Spider-Man movie. Hey, Sony, that's great. But let's sign this little piece of paper that says that we have the ability to use them in the specific roles, just can't have them in a primary feature role. So what do we get? We get Civil War. We get the first introduction of Tony and Peter. And we also get to see the hottest Aunt May ever, Marissa Tomei. So we had John Watts had helmed all three from 2017, 2019, and 2021. He did all three of those movies. And although I do like the second one of having Mysterio there, and I like that they brought Mysterio in because that was pretty cool. And I didn't like that he wasn't really Mysterio. It was kind of like how Iron Man 3 did the Mandarin, kind of like 1-2 stepped it, right? But Jake Gyllenhaal, he played it up, and he set it up with that whole little barf, right? And barf was set up through Iron Man, which was kind of good. And we knew that the tech was there because, well, the blip happened, and Tony's no longer there. So then we get Doctor Strange, and we get the introduction, and this is what was so cool. I fanboyed. I'm not gonna lie. I fanboyed in the theater, and I hope I'm not the only one out there when Andrew Garfield came through. I was like, "Oh my God, it's happening!" And then Toby walks through, and then they have the little hey, the organic web thing. That's kind of gross, right? And all three of them are working with Ned and MJ, and they're trying to solve things, and they're going up against all the different villains that they had. I mean, think about the John Watts films. The first villain, Vulture, Michael Keaton, phenomenal role. I like the spin on that. The second one was Mysterio, and the third one was, heck, all of them. And then the crumbs that they gave you for Scorpion, right? And now here we are in the fourth iteration of this movie, and it's helmed by the guy who did Shang-Chi, Destin Daniel Cretton. I hope I didn't screw his name up too much. I love his work, and I'm excited because we get the Hulk, we get the Punisher, we get Peter Parker, no one knows who he is, and we get Sadie Sink playing someone. Who? Some say it's Wanda. Some say it's Jean Grey. Some say it's Typhoid Mary. Personally, I don't really care. I can wait. It comes out very soon, and your boy has his tickets. Dolby. I'm going to go see it in the biggest screen and the loudest music. So it's going to be awesome. We also have the Spider-Verse. This animation, this groundbreaking animation that came out was so deep. And you have the voice of the original Spider-Man is Chris Pine. So you're getting something. And this is when we're introduced to Miles Morales. Now, for the comic book people, we were introduced to him before, but for everyone else, Miles Morales. And then we get Gwen. We get her. And then we get Spider-Man 2099. And we get all these different ones. Some Spider-Pig to Spider-Man Noir. I mean, everything. So how many Spider-Mans are there? Well, for every universe, there's a Spider-Man. And is one of them an anchor character? Probably. So to answer the question, why do we love Spider-Man? Okay. 1. He's relatable and he's grounded in his heroism. He always looks out for the little guy. He doesn't really have any cosmic threats. See, Peter Parker has a real life with real problems. He has struggles, and they are 100% relatable, right? He has dating problems. He has school problems. He has financial struggles like everyone does, and he has emotional loss. Who out there can't relate to that? 2, he has strong moral compass. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility, and he fully grasps and understands it. 3, he has unique powers and abilities, from web crawling to web slinging, super strength. I mean, everything goes on there. He's both physically and intellectually impressive. He has a great balance of his intellect and his problem-solving ability. So those are 3 points right there. But can we go in further? I think we can. How about going number 4? An iconic design. The red and the blue, like uniform with the webbing striped. The eyes, the signet on the front. Who doesn't know this iconic costume worldwide? Number 5, he's inspirational. People love him for his perseverance, his kindness, of doing the right thing at all times. He inspires children, both in the movies and the comics, and actually in real life. My grandson, he's just turned 10 this year, and he is absolutely in love with Spider-Man. I would love for him to be in love with his grandpa, but in the same context, I'm okay with him being in love with a hero that has that much power. Number 6, and this goes all the way back years and years ago. It's a storytelling and evolution of the character. When he debuted in 1962 in Amazing Fantasy, who knew that he was going to blow up the way he did? And through the reimagining of that character through Miles Morales and others, the adaptability allows new generations to fall in love with him all over again, or a different version of him. Personally, I love Spider-Woman. Yep, Jessica. So let's have a little fun now. Now, because I am who I am, I went ahead and generated some images of me and my wife as Spider-Man and Spider-Woman. And I did take a little bit of liberty, just going to let you know. So I'm putting it up here right now so you guys can enjoy it. And if my wife gets mad at me, then maybe I just need a little panking because I misbehaved. I don't know. What do you think? I hope you guys enjoy them. So there we have it. Why do we love Spider-Man? Because he's everything we want to be. All right, everyone. As always, it's your boy, the Comic Plug. You guys have a great day, and I shall see you next time.